Two former juvenile boxing, underage boxing stars.
Round one.
Round one. And red here is the Dublin boxer. That's Bernard Dunn, whose father won the senior championships some years back. And it looks as if Michael Burke is going to come forward in this opening round. Caught with a good left hook as he comes forward. Plows through with one good left hand. A boxer from Gorey putting on pressure in this opening round. He's going to try and upset the rhythm of Bernard Dunn. Bernard Dunn may take a little while to settle into this. 5 2-minute rounds, so it's quite a long contest, this one. This is at bantamweight. And it's Burke who's the aggressor in this opening round. Nice clean punch there from Dunn at the end of that exchange. And Dunn now beginning to feel the comfort of the ring now, beginning to pick his punches a little bit better, looking more confident, forces Burke to run onto a cracking right hand to the face. That was a good solid right hand from Bernard Dunn in this opening round. Countering well. Burke feels the only way to win this is to keep putting on pressure, but he runs into trouble again there, and he's taking a standing count to the opening round. And Burke in trouble. This is his first taste of senior boxing, and much the same goes for Bernard Dunn. Dunn took a few seconds to settle into this contest, and now Burke is pulling out the stops and hits back with 2 good punches. He's the shorter of the two in reach. And Dunn uses his reach well. Stands up straight. Getting a little untidy. When he stands off and picks his punches, he picks them well. A lot of the confidence gone from Burke, or is it at the end of the round? Well, that was a cracking opening round for the Dubliner, forcing his man to take a standing count.
Round two.
Well, that was a clear-cut first round for the Dubliner there. And the scoring 6-1. Pick him up for the second round. Now Dunn will feel confident now. He knows he's caught the eye of the judges. His clean-up punches have been scoring well. That's quite a lead in only 2 minutes of boxing. Burke has got to get his boxing together here. That's a little bit better. 2 short, good punches. Well, there's no doubt the opening round Dunn was the better boxer. The scoring might have been a bit severe on Burke. And there's that cleaner left hand again sailing through, but Burke is certainly not going to give in. He's going to keep putting on the pressure here and try and upset the flowing style of Dublin boxer Bernard Dunn. And you get a feeling this contest may not go the full distance. We're in the second round now. There's a good right hand from the Gorey man again. And he walks into one. And there's a standing count once again. It was a good, clean punch. Got him right on the chin. No doubt about it. He's in a bit of trouble here. He's giving everything, but he's paying absolutely no attention to defense at all. He's leaving himself wide open as he launches those attacks against the taller, more accurate Dublin boxer Dunn. Bernard Dunn from the CIE club in Dublin. And again, it's a standing count to this, the second round. Great excitement in Dunn's corner as his dad, Brendan, urges him on, and he's stopping it. It's all over. Yes, you can see the difference in height there, and he used it all the way, the long reach, long punches, always in command.
Yes, Mick Dowling, Dunn, one of the brightest young prospects on the scene at the moment, and obviously it's not from the ground that he leaked that either.
Indeed not, because his dad, of course, Brendan, was the first light flyweight champion of Ireland, going back to 1973-74. But young Michael Burke was always going to find it very difficult against him. Dunn has all the moves, good right hands over the top, and a wide left hook. I've said this about him before, Michael.
Sure.
He throws it wide, he bangs the right hand over the top, and the left hook follows, and 9 times out of 10 it landed.
Okay, we're going to move on now to the next two fights we're going to see are, of course, going to involve the two CARLYLE brothers.
Yes, two very skillful fighters. They were up also against two other skillful fighters.
Sure.
I always thought about these particular two matches at feather and lightweight. They weren't going to get the crowd jumping out of their seats, but they were going to be very, very technical fights.
Okay, we're going to have a look at them then. The first of the two CARLYLE brothers coming up, that's Terry, wearing blue, facing a very difficult opponent, as Mick said, and Pat O'Donnell from the Dockers Club in Belfast. And we join the action in this featherweight contest in round 4 with the narrowest of margins separating them.
So we come to the 4th round, round 4 in this contest, and a very tame one indeed. And still 1 point ahead. Both the champion just barely staying in front. Corner, please not, but he can't take too many chances here. He's only 1 point ahead. He's got all the work to do here. So O'Donnell tries to pick him off, count his punches, boxing to the computer. He's a cagey customer, Pat O'Donnell. And he's been drawing CARLYLE into making mistakes every so often. CARLYLE unable to loosen it up and box the way he'd like to box. Trying to sustain an attack, but every time he tries to do it, O'Donnell disappears. O'Donnell is a thinking kind of boxer, counting the scores almost. Bit careless with the head at times. But again, it's negative boxing. No punch has been scored there. That's a little bit better. A left hand, a good left hand from Terry CARLYLE. He's got to use that left hand a bit more. Hasn't been getting his range the way he should. That's a bit better once again. He counters with a right hand. Not a damaging one, but a punch that lands nevertheless. In this Dublin-Belfast battle here at the end of yet another round. It's livening up somewhat now. So it could all depend on this round as to who will become the Irish champion. Will the CARLYLEs, who are trying for a double in these championships, will they get the first part up now? Well, Terry CARLYLE has got to do an awful lot of work here. This has been a cagey display by the experienced Pat O'Donnell, who's been moving around the ring quite well. An awkward one to find. Now, will he stay the distance well in this final round? And there's going to be a toss-up as to who's going to be the winner, and there he scores openly with the right hand. No great power behind them. His opponent was moving away from them, but they'll more than likely register on the computer. Now CARLYLE, on the other hand, is not scoring. That's a little bit better. He's pressurizing, but he's not getting through with clean punches. On this day of computer scoring, you need to see good, clean, easy to see and easy to read, because remember, 3 of the 5 judges must see the punch before it scores. And again, the cleaner punch seemed to come from O'Donnell there. Pat O'Donnell, will he hold on to his title? His corner really getting excited now. They know there's only a punch or two in it. And there it is, it's all over. And certainly, in Pat O'Donnell's corner, they look pleased. They seem to feel they've won.
The red corner, Pat O'Donnell.
Yes, he edges home again.
So disappointment there for Terry Carlyle. Well, let's see now how his younger brother A got on in a lightweight contest against the reigning champion Eugene McEnany. We join it in round 4.
To win this title. But he's quite an experienced boxer. But now it's listening up. This could suit Carlyle if he can hold this fellow in one place and get a bit of a punch-up, a toe-to-toe slugging match. But that's not the kind of thing McEnany will fall for, I think. McEnany will use the space behind him. Plenty of room. And move. Steal the points and move away. Well, Carlyle is putting everything he has into this. There's still one more round to go. Now, as he pulled back a few points here. Great following here in the stadium for him, and he runs into punches there for McEnany as he tried to pin his man down on a corner. I think he'd be happy enough with that. And so to the final round. A little bit disappointing for the Dublin fans here, I think. They're Bill disappointed at the display of Éire Carlyle, who's way behind on points now. 12 points to 8. That's quite a margin. So he's got to pull out all the stops and go for broke in these final 2 minutes. Éire Carlyle. He's going to have to fight the fight of his life from Killinarden, the Sacred Heart Club in Dublin. But this has been quite a display by the experienced Eugene McEnany. McEnany has taken it comfortably. He's been cool all the way through. He's been cashing in on the younger man's mistakes and lack of experience at senior boxing. He's never been drawn into a punch-up. Manages to avoid the big swings of Carlyle. Carlyle's best punch was the left-hand jab earlier on in the contest, but didn't pay an awful lot of dividends. And McEnany spoiling in there on that. He won't be drawn into a toe-to-toe slugging match. Covers himself up, avoids the heavy punches. And Carlyle's corner urging him on to throw the punches. That's a little bit better. McEnany tiring a little in this last round, but he still should be enough in front. His corner more indicating to keep it at long range. Circle around the ring, stay out of trouble. And the crowd urging on, trying to get the last drop out of this contest. And the last drop from young Éire Carlyle as he pours his heart out in this final round. And again, he scores with a big right hand. But is it enough? He seems pleased, but he went in way behind on points at the start of that last round.
The winner of that contest, 13-12. The Star National Senior Champion at lightweight and the holder of the St Andrews Boxing Club Perpetual Challenge Cup. In the red corner,
Yes, he holds on by a single point. Well, he almost threw it away in the last round, just held on to it, but he's champion once again, and deservedly so.
I have your appreciation for Éire Carlyle.
He is indeed. Mick, let's just first of all go back to the previous fight that we saw there involving Terry Carlyle. He had done well to get to that final, but as you were making the point to me, just kind of lacked the punch power.
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge disappointment for both Carlyles and a huge disappointment for Tommy Hanrahan and Peter Gaffney, who have done a great job with him. They got both of them to the finals. And yes, as far as Terry was concerned, he lacks the power. Now, his coach knows that. Yeah. Terry knows that. He has lots of skill, but just lacked the power to be able to stop O'Donnell. But O'Donnell is a very awkward opponent, Michael. You saw the way he was bobbing and weaving down, and he doesn't take much punches. He's a very tight defense. Then he comes out of this little shell of bobbing and weaving up with very quick punches. He's very awkward to fight. If I was asked what 2 fighters would I not like to box, McEnany is one, and this boy O'Donnell is the other.
Well, speaking of McEnany, he cut it fine there. He also cut it fine in his semi-final, but he's the champion again.
He's the champion because, again, he's a very slick boxer, very sneaky, clever. And that's what it's all about, landing punches and not getting hit. McEnany does that extremely well, so does O'Donnell. The Carlyles do it extremely well too, and it's very disappointing to lose both titles by one single point.
Sure. Yeah.
But 4 great fighters, there had to be 2 winners somewhere.
Of course. All right, well, let's see then what many would have thought would have been the evening's main event. That is the welterweight encounter between the current champion from the St. Paul's Club in Waterford, Neil Goff, and the Atlanta Olympian Francis Barrett in blue. We pick up the action in round 3 with Barrett trailing by 7 points to 4.
Round 3.
And so, to the 3rd round, the champion on a little bit of pressure, but the more active of the two. He's leading 7 points to 4. But he's got to keep his boxing nice and tidy. Good accurate punching from Goff every so often. But the big wild swings are coming from Barrett. What a contrast in boxing skills here. 2 good boxers. You're seeing amateur boxing at its best here at welterweight. The tough, hard man from the West, Francie Barrett, slinging out punches, quite a following in the crowd. In fact, I'd say the crowd is evenly balanced. Also, great following for Neil Goff. Goff cashing in on the mistakes of his opponent during the time, trying to make up mistakes, and he catches them with one good one. And Goff jumped in again, but just wasn't able to carry it up. These are big punches, and they're landing from either side. Barrett getting ready to launch another big attack. There's the cleaner punch. Good right hand from Neil Goff. It's almost impossible to stop this fella Barrett, because Goff has caught him with some of his best punches, and Barrett is still full of fight. Wow, there's a bit of trouble there. He's cut on the lip. Referee having a closer look. He may even have to call in the doctor here to inspect that to see if it's serious. Says it's all right to continue. Now, will that upset the boxing rhythm of Goff and encourage Francie Barrett? The end of the round. A little bit of disappointment to the corner there for Neil Goff. John Finn in his corner. A closer inspection of that injury.
Round 4.
And so to round 4. A cracking contest this, but the champion is the one who's in front by 13 points to 5 now. He's the cleaner hitter, but the rough, tough boxing of the man from the West, Francie Barrett, makes him dangerous all the time. Strong, well-built. Now Goff is going to try and keep it at long range and coast along a little bit now, because he knows he's building up a good lead. He's 8 points in front, which is an awful lot, with 2 rounds to go. And he's going to try and stay out of danger if he can. But in close, it's always dangerous. There could be a clash of head, or he could be caught. Right hand from Barrett. He'll keep throwing them. Barrett being urged on from his corner there to keep throwing that big left hand. His concentration 100% throughout this contest here. Watching for mistakes. He's caught there with it, and then he slips away. Makes a good escape. Pace has slowed down a little bit in this round. That'll probably suit Neil Goff. He's done the cleaner boxing so far. He's got enough of a lead, he can afford to take a bit of a breather. But Barrett cannot. Barrett has to still come from behind, put everything he has into what's left of this contest. And there's not an awful lot left, only 2 minutes to go.
Final round.
Neil Goff has been entertaining the boxing fraternity and the followers here for quite a number of years now. Good, accurate boxer. And he's showing the way here tonight in this contest. No doubt about it. So far in front now, 19 points to 7. So, is it a no-hope situation for Francie Barrett? Well, it has been done before. He'll keep trying right to the end. But it seems only a stoppage or a knockout will win it for him at this stage. Neil Goff, not an easy one to knock out. Always slipping away. He's picking his punches now. He knows he's in front. And Neil Goff looks as if he's going to coast along in this last round. This powerful welterweight from the Olympic Club in Galway, Francie Barrett, giving it his all, right from the word go. But the master has throughout been Neil Goff. An impeccable display of amateur boxing, using his talents throughout the contest. Even when he's pinned to the corner there, he slithers out. Punches well, with short punches, a beautiful left to Barrett's chin. And as we come towards the end of the round, Neil Goff looks like a man who is really enjoying himself now, as he cashes in on the errors of the younger Francis Barrett. Barrett. And there it's all over. Entertaining contest all the way through.
In the red corner,
Well, a tough one.
A tough one, yeah. I had taken my hat off to him. He kept coming and coming. I hit him with some of my best shots there tonight, and he still took him and kept coming. And fair play to him, but it was a great fight. I knew once I boxed, I was going to win the fight, and I did that the whole 5 rounds.
And you were aware of the scoring all the way through?
Away to scoring, yeah. I knew I was ahead 1 from the second round on. It was level after the first. And once I got ahead, I knew once I kept boxing and moving and picking my shots, there was going to be only one outcome, and that was the win.
He caught you with a few good, hard right hands.
He did. As I said, he's very, very strong, and I caught him with all my punches, and he took them all and came back with his own punches. And if anything, in the first couple of rounds, I was disappointed with my defence. Really, I let through a lot of shots I shouldn't have got through. But as I said, I still came out 25-8. It was a great win for me.
Yeah, well, Mick Goff with praise for his opponent there, but he was the class act. And of course, tonight he was emulating the achievements of Harry Perry of the late 50s and 60s.
Yeah, well, that's some achievement. Harry Perry was a great fighter, but Neil Goff is a very different type fighter than Harry Perry was. Harry was a very busy, bustling type fighter. Goff is cute and he's shrewd, and I've watched him mature over the past 6-7 years, actually, and he's developed into a really good, clever fighter. He treats every contest like a game of chess, Michael. He makes you miss, and as soon as you miss, he takes advantage of it. You know, he makes you make the mistakes, and he's thinking all the time. A very crafty fighter.
Yeah, you've actually been looking at that and looking at the way that he lures his opponent sort of into making the mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, like Neil draws his opponent on, like where, you know, here you can see him in the red, drawing on Francis. Francis comes to him, but Neil Goff clips that left hand over the top. And this went on round after round. Here he is again, he's waiting, he's waiting. Francis comes, up comes Neil Goff's left hook once again.
Sure.
Another little clip of it here. Good counter-punching, and you can see very clearly, Michael, the clean punches are coming from the red vest of Neil Goff. There's another good cracking left hook. He was banging that right hand in, following over with the left hook, and it was landing all the time. You know, Barrett knew what he wanted to do, but wasn't terribly sure of how to do it. Because against Goff, you have to be very quick, very clever.
Goff's fists are like lightning. I mean, even watching it on the television, some of the shots, you don't quite see them until they've landed.
Well, Francis Barrett didn't see some of them, I can tell you, you know, because of the way Neil has, yeah, he counter-punches and he thinks very well, Michael. And as I said, he draws you on, and then there's quick little shots, doesn't fall off balance or anything, keeps nice balance. It just comes through years and years of concentrating and learning. And his old coach, John Finn, my old mate from many years back, has made a really good job of him.
There's no doubting Neil Goff's class. What about Francis Barrett? I mean, he became a household name, obviously, with the Atlanta Olympics. Has he got what it takes to be a champion in the next couple of years?
Well, that final was the final actually a lot of people hoped or thought would happen last year, and it didn't, because Billy Cowan from the north threw the spanner in the works and beat Francis Barrett. But Francis has a future, but he's got to start to learn to get much quicker, Michael. He's got to be craftier and cleverer, quicker, picking punches, because now you cannot win fights by sheer aggression. You have to be able to pick the clean punches. And I think if Francis concentrates, along with his coach, Chick Gillen, who has done an excellent job with him as well, of course there's a future for him.
All right, Mick, thank you for the moment. Well, now that's it from part one of the programme. After the break, we can promise you action from a cracking super heavyweight bout. So we'll see you in a few minutes. And you're welcome back again. Well, now, before the break, we promised to bring you a cracking super heavyweight bout between Stephen Reynolds of St. Joseph, Sligo, and John Kinsella from the Crumlin Boxing Club here in Dublin. Not often that the top weights provide good bouts, but this one certainly put that belief to rest.
Seconds out. Round one.
Round one, and this is the super heavyweight bout. And this is the challenger here in blue. The challenger is John Kinsella from the Crumlin Boxing Club. And he's going to try and make this into a bit of a war and upset the cool rhythm of Stephen Reynolds. Reynolds, a man who likes to keep it at long range and punch straight. And he's caught with a big right hand as Kinsella goes chasing after the champion. Reynolds trying to get settled down with his long left-hand jab, but he's taking a hard right hand. He's been caught with a few hefty ones in this opening round as he tries to get his rhythm going and score with the jabbing left hand to keep this younger man away. Wild swings again from Kinsella. That's a big right hand from Kinsella, right on the chin. But again, Reynolds, punching the more accurate of the two, scores well as they come in close. And this is quite an exciting opening round for the super heavyweights. You don't often see them punch so fast and so furious in the opening round. Kinsella putting on the pressure. The champion trying to gain his composure and slow down the pace a little bit more. Heavy, powerfully built Stephen Reynolds lying on in this opening round. He's getting through with the left-hand jab now at last. Hasn't got the measure properly with his right as yet. Now has Kinsella punched himself out at the end of the round? What an exciting opening round.
Round two.
Well, we come to the second round of a thrilling super heavyweight bout. Thrilling so far. And the score is all even at 3 points each. So it's wide open. And once again, Reynolds is trying to do the scoring at long range. And Kinsella trying to be first to get in, as he did in the opening round. And not allow the champion Reynolds to settle down. Reynolds in red. From St. Joseph's Club in Sligo. He's had quite an amount of experience, and successful experience in international boxing in the last 12 months. He's become a very popular figure here in the stadium. Pounding away. These are two powerful heavyweights, and neither prepared to step back. Reynolds trying to get set to fire off that left-hand jab. It's the one that's won so many bouts for him, the left-hand jab. But he can't get this for the back. Yes, he does with the left-hand jab this time. Almost loses balance. And there's damage. There's a slight cut Doesn't look too much for here, but it's very difficult to see with the headgear. A slight trickle of blood, it seems, on the left eye. Oh, a beautiful left hand right, spot on the chin. I think he'd get up all right, but he got quite a fright. And this would be a turn-up. John Kinsella is going to go for broke here and try once again. Reynolds made a miss with a right hand, then walked into a beautiful left hook. And there's the end of the round. Well, he seems recovered, but it was a good punch. And here we see that opening round. And let's see it, a beautiful left. Well, this is quite a battle, this one. The champion is only 1 point ahead. Champion in red here, Stephen Reynolds. And the danger man now, it seems, is Kinsella. He's looking again for the big punch here. Scores with one useful right hand. I don't know how Reynolds can take them, but he certainly takes those big punches, and he's still there. I thought he'd have shown a little more mobility and try and get away from them, but they're hopping off his chin from time to time. And he certainly is able to take a punch, Reynolds. He's shown us that tonight. Counters with a big right hand. Sinks a right hand to the body. And he's cut again with the right and punches back. Stabbing out the left hand jab. This is some punch up. And the man who wins this title will certainly earn it. The super heavyweight champion of Ireland. Beautiful left hook to the body and to the head. And 1-2 good clean punches. No reply from Kinsella. Is Kinsella on the way out now at this stage? Kinsella beginning to make mistakes now. Walks in blindly into a left and a right hand. And that's the end of the round. And the champion certainly coming on top of the end of that round. And the champion up front, Reynolds in front, 10 points to 7. But remember, this can all be wiped out, all those arrears, with one single blow. Reynolds trying to hold him at bay with that long left hand. Again, he's busy when they're in close. This is the difference. And he hooks well to the body. Trouble with the glove, it seems. Yes, he says it's all right. Jackie Monaghan, the referee. Oh, a good barrage of blows there from Kinsella. They were good punches, and he's doing damage. Reynolds trying to move in close for cover. Possibly the safest place. Picks him off as Kinsella comes forward. He's a fit boxer. He's an accurate puncher. He's staying the pace. And he's hurting him. Is the end inside? Kinsella, has he given all he had? Has he anything left? Yes, he has a big right hand. And again at the left hand. What a recovery. He took everything that Reynolds had to offer. I thought he was going to go down. And no, he's forcing Reynolds to give ground in this, the fourth round. Well, we never see more excitement than that in a super heavyweight bout. It's been punch for punch all the way through. And it's still open, don't mind the scores. It can still go either way. It's the last round, and it looks as if Kinsella will have to win on a knockout. He's trailing. It's 16 to 11 now. And it's not impossible to foresee these last 2 minutes. Anything can happen. And Mercedes is told to move away from the ring and not to be giving instructions during the course of the bout. I'm amazed that they're still on their feet. Reynolds always busy when they're in close. He keeps punching to the body. And I think this is paying quite an amount of dividends over the course of the contest. Kinsella looking for the big punch all the way. That was almost on the button. That won that big right hand. Now has he got the speed of punch left? Sutcliffe has been told to keep quiet now. Phil Sutcliffe. Now, will they stay upright for the remainder of the round? Now, this was like a repeat of the previous round when we thought Kinsella was going to drop, but instead of that, he came back and forced the champion to give ground. And he does it once again, a big right hand out of the blue. A worthy champion, and whoever is runner-up, a brave display. And he's still trying for all he's worth. And that's it, it's all over. I doubt if Kinsella has made it, but he's put on a great display, and he congratulated, as indeed did both boxers.
And the winner, 23-14, and the Star National Senior Champion Super Heavyweight, and the holder of the Jim Burke Perpetual Trophy, in the red corner, Stephen Reynolds.
Yes, he's champion once again. A great win. And a great night for Sligo boxing.
And your appreciation of a most gallant loser.
I actually fancy the referee to take the title, and that will make us the only man left standing in the ring. That was a great old scrap there.
Well, they really went to war, Michael, from the very, very start. I've been going to the stadium now. I first boxed in the stadium in 1965. That's over 30 years ago. Yeah. That is the best super heavyweight contest that I've ever seen. Not only is it the best super heavyweight, it is the best of the big men fights I have ever seen in the stadium. I mean, it was really war from the very, very start. I spoke to John Kinsella beforehand, and I had seen both of these guys fight previously. Yeah. Reynolds took Kinsella apart, but Kinsella said to me, he says, yeah, he says, but he said, I am now a different fighter. I'm much fitter. I've shed 2 stone or something. And I tell you, he is a different fighter.
Well, he came out with all guns blazing at the very start of it. I mean, he obviously upset his opponent as well, because the champion wasn't looking happy.
No, I mean, they're 2 huge guys, plenty of power, you know, but the real difference between them was that Stephen Reynolds has that little bit slicker, a little bit craftier, a bit cuter, and was working very well on the inside. But as one would hurt, the other one would then come back and score again. So, especially with big guys, it is never over until the very, very final bell. Sure.
And this is the beauty of amateur boxing, you were saying a moment ago. I mean, what they actually take home from this tonight compared to what they would do if they were professionals.
Well, I've said that I've been pushing for amateur boxers to start getting paid, and they are to a small degree tonight in that they get their medallions, #1, and they get a voucher for some sports gear. Yeah. But I think that's only the start of it, because that sort of a contest, Michael, is deserving of a little bit more.
Oh, it's certainly value for money, that's for sure. We're going to move on, Mick, to the light heavyweight division now. Here we're going to see Swinford's Adrian Sheeran, who's so often, of course, been a runner-up in the past. He against Addo Kelly from Brosna in Offaly. Now, what are we to look forward to in this one?
Well, this was a title that was really up for grabs, because the defending champion, Stephen Kirk, decided he wasn't going to take part at all. And Sheeran has been very unlucky in the past, but he was in tonight to really grab hold of this thing. But Kelly was a very, very crafty opponent, because he boxed one of my fellas in the very first round and beat my fella well, Michael McDonough. Right. He beat him quite clearly. Yeah. But a very skillful fighter, Kelly, but Sheeran was really up for it tonight, and it proved to be a cracker. Both had huge support there from Mayo and from Offaly.
Of course, yeah. OK, we're going to pick up the action then in this one in round 3, with Sheeran leading by 5 points to 4.
And so to the third round. Well, that was a better round for Adrian Sheeran there. And he moves ahead by 1 point only, though. 5-4. 5 points. He's clanked with a big right hand and scores back with one good, solid left hand to the face. A little bit of trouble with the glove, is it? Or the bandage peeping out? All right, and away we go once again. They're quite similar in style, these boxers. Stand up straight, try to find the range with the left-hand jab. There's not an awful lot that separates them. But Sheeran all the time looks to be the man that should be putting on the pressure, and there he is. He scores with a good right hand, left hand. Sheeran's corner are urging him on all the time. They want him to come forward because that seems to be his best, to carry the fight to his man. And not to wait too much, but be a bit more positive. He proved it in that last round and forged ahead on points. That's a nice counter. And again, his corner is telling, follow through, keep up the pressure when you have your man going. He's inclined to step back. Quite a good light heavyweight bout so far. They're both fairly tight with their boxing, and there's a good scoring left-hand jab at the end of the round.
Sheeran increased his lead to 12-8 in round 4, and we rejoin the fight in the final round.
He's way in front now. 12 points to 8. And it looks as if Allo Kelly has got to land a knockout if he's to win this one. So Kelly will go for everything in this last round. And there's a big right hand from Kelly, but Sheeran quick to reply. Now Kelly has got to come alive in this last round, as indeed he is. He caught his man with one good right hand to the chin. Sheeran, quite an experienced international. He'll hardly walk into a trap. Oh, anything can happen if he's caught. Yes, this is a great last round. This has developed into a good contest. A bit tame in the fourth round as Adrian Sheeran began to take control. But now that Kelly knows he's so far behind, he's got to put in an awful lot of work. He's trying his best in this last round. I feel it's too late. Way behind on points coming into this round. He's giving it everything he has, but Sheeran is the master. He's cool, he's accurate, he keeps his hands up high. He's not that easy to catch. Doesn't make too many mistakes. For a man who's been knocking at the door for this title for the last few years, this seems to be the year. And it looks as if a senior title is going to go to Mayo. And this would be something. They haven't produced all that many champions, but they've always been registering. Oh, beautiful left to the chin there. And Sheeran now is boxing like a champion as he pours out the punches there.
And the holder of the Meredith and Company Perpetual Challenge Cup. And the red corner, Adrian Sheeran.
Yes, a big cheer for Mayo. Hard luck to Offaly. But Adrian Sheeran, a great champion. He joins the names like Peter Mullen, who was heavyweight champion a few years ago, the Dick Cairns and the Tom Lydons of years ago. Mayo have a champion at light heavyweight in Adrian Sheeran.
Yeah, Mick, with respect to Allo Kelly, I suppose that this was a title that was due to Sheeran because for so often he had been in the shadow of Stephen Kirk.
That's right, yeah. He lost 2 finals, one to Kirk and the other one to Gordon Joyce. I have to say I was impressed with Al O'Kelly, and I'm impressed with his improvement, Michael, over the past year or so. He's a better fighter, a different fighter than he was. He used to be a little bit negative, but now he's developing into a really good fighter. He spent quite a bit of time in New York, and in fact he's involved in the New York Golden Gloves Championships at the moment. But I think they both wanted to win there, but Sheeran really wanted to win, and that was the difference there. He was really up for it tonight. Every time Kelly threw a punch at him, Sheeran came back with 1, 2, 3, 4 good, straight, clean head punches, and he was always ahead.
Great atmosphere in the hall for that fight. Shouts of Mayo, Mayo, Mayo all the time. They've won a national title. Mightn't have been the one they've been chasing for the last 12 months or so,
Well,
but still.
Well, I'm sure they'll still be chasing that elusive Sam Maguire, but nevertheless, it was a great win. They had both had huge support there. The same thing happened in the semi-finals where Sheeran brought his and Kelly brought along his. So it was always going to be a cracking final, and I think it lived up to it.
Well, there was plenty of fireworks in the flyweight division. This was a battle between Belfast's Liam Cunningham and Martin Murphy from Waterford. Now, Cunningham, the reigning champion, was the firm favourite to retain his title against the hard-hitting Waterford man. We joined this one in round 1.
And away we go for round 1. And this is the flyweight final. Liam Cunningham is the man to watch here. Liam Cunningham in red, champion, and Martin Murphy from St. Paul's in Waterford. So Martin Murphy will be looked upon as the outsider here. But he was quite impressive in winning his way to this final. Beat the reigning intermediate champion last week here. He's a good puncher, but Cunningham is a nice, clever mover. At 20 years of age, he's the reigning champion, well-known boxing family in Belfast. His younger brother, Harry, and Harry Sr. coaches them, his father. And he's going to prove to be quite a problem for Murphy. Murphy will be trying to catch him. He'll probably, his only chance is to put on pressure here. But I expect Cunningham will keep it at long distance and pick him off from out far. A light-looking flyweight doesn't look as if he has all that much power, but Cunningham, well, he'll be capped 2-1. He can be a good, clean puncher. And he's taking a count. He's caught. He's in trouble in the first round, and this could be the big turn-up of the championships. Taking things too easily against a big hitter. You can never do that. Murphy must keep up the pressure here. He may not get another chance like that. This would be quite a turn-up. The big punch is always the danger. He's trying again to land the big punch. But Cunningham trying to dance out of the way. End of the round, and the trouble may be over. Or is it?
Round 2.
And so we go for the second round. And believe it or not, the champion is in trouble. He's caught once again. And this could be the big turn-up of the championships. The big puncher against the classic boxer. And out of the blue. And he's stopping the contest. The referee is stopping it. And they're going wild with excitement here. This is the biggest surprise of the championships.
In the blue corner, Martin Murphy.
The big punch, you can't beat it.
Well, no, Mick Dowling, you certainly cannot beat it, and that was one for the books.
Yeah, that was surely the biggest shock of the night. Martin Murphy would not have been expected to win that one at all. Cunningham was very impressive in his semi-final, but I have to say that Murphy was too. He boxed Darren Campbell from Glyn Boxing Club and looked as though he was going to take a hammering in the first 2 rounds, but came back with a fabulous finish. So he's powerful, he's mature, he's 34 years old now. This was surely his last chance, but it's good to see him come along. It was really a man, I think, versus a boy there. Yeah. As good as Cunningham is, the power was with Murphy. And Murphy knew going in that he needed the power. So, you know, because if it went on points, he was going to find it difficult. Sure. But I think overall, John Finn would be very pleased, and his assistant coach, Dan Cowman, because that's 2 titles for them.
Murphy certainly benefited as well from the good support that had come up from Waterford, obviously, to see the other Waterford man in action.
Well, it's always great to have the support. Often us boxers, when we get in there, we think, well, you don't hear it, but you actually do. It's nice. Yeah. It's nice to know that you have the support, and a lot of people will be very pleased for Martin Murphy.
So some interesting results there. Mick, good nights at the championships.
Great night, yeah. As I said earlier, you know, the cream always comes to the top. It's like hurling, football, anything else. Championship is great, Michael. It's what everybody waits for and lives for and prepares for, and our championships have proven once again to be a huge success.
All right, Mick, well, obviously there were plenty of other titles up for grabs tonight. Now, in the heavyweight division, there was a comfortable win for John Kiley in the red of Limerick over Ben McGarrigle. 21-9, the final score there. There was a new champion at light welterweight, I should say. That was Mark Wickham of Enniscorthy, coming up trumps with an 8-7 victory.
And the red corner.
Well, there was no contest at light middleweight as one Cork man romped to victory over another. Michael Roach of Sunnyside came away with a 24-1 victory over Tom Fitzgerald of Ballyvolane. Olympic quarterfinalist Brian McGee scored a predictable 25-3 victory over Kevin Walsh to clinch the middleweight title. And in the light flyweight division, James Rooney earned his title without raising